All right. Can y'all hear me tonight? I think I got the mic fixed. I think I got the camera issue fixed. Sometimes the software gets a mind of its own and disconnects all the important stuff. So if you can hear and see me clearly tonight, type something in the chat. I don't care. An emoji. Tell me to kiss your ass. Whatever. Just give me some kind of feedback that you can hear me and see me tonight. And then we'll get into these charts. We got the DXY pulled up here, the dollar index on the daily scale. So there we go. Thank you, Reaper. Appreciate it. But here it is. This is, we're going to look at some other stuff. Thank you, OJ. We always try to start off with the DXY because it's the driver of all of our markets. Anytime stocks go up, the dollar's going down, and when the dollar goes up, stocks go down. And crypto right now has just become a giant tech stock and is following along with the NASDAQ and everything else. So as long as we're in a downtrend and the dollar is an uptrend, I mean, it's in a pretty substantial uptrend if you really want to look at it. And I will zoom out just to run through it real quick. Here's our double bottom. We've been trading in this channel. Once we broke up in this channel here, we started trading in it. We had one on the second. Actually, we had three touches. If you look back that far, a lot more, but we had distinctive touches. 1, 2, 3, and it was gone. Once it broke here, there was no turning back. And it is just stair-stepping its way to the inflation heavens. And that's not good. We're getting to that point. We definitely don't want to see these kind of, 2000, 2001 highs again. That's, $1.21 now. You don't want to see that. Definitely don't want to see that. You want to hope that but now we're breaking above it again. If we end up making that support, then we could run right up to $1.09.8. 109.802 is where I've got plotted. We could run up to that, make a higher high, come back down, test this line, and just keep ripping. But you'll see on the daily what I had set up for everybody. I alerted everybody right here. Everybody in my Discord was alerted. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. I let everyone know. We had a pretty substantial setup happening. And we had hidden bullish divergence forming on the DXY right here. And I just kind of knew that, hey, we're fixing to break again. And we just started building, and there we go. And that's what's killing the markets right now, the value of the dollar. If you're Wall Street and you're looking for a place to earn easy, guaranteed money, where are you going to go? If interest rates are going higher, you're going to put Wall Street likes guarantees. They like easy money. They want to grow wealth, conserve wealth. Wall Street really, contrary to what people believe, they do not like to gamble per se. They don't like not knowing. So if they can't control it and they're not in charge of it, they're going to take the easy route, and they're putting their money in cash because cash is growing. And when the cash turns, like here, when that cash turns and starts losing value, that's when they turn and start buying assets with it that are appreciating in value. So it's really up to them. But that's it. That's the DXY. It's just if we want to look on a smaller time frame to kind of see what we think markets are going to do tomorrow, we'll go right here to the 4-hour. We got above this little trend line I had drawn from way back. But to me, I'm not. The 4-hour to me is not looking good, and I like it. I mean, not look good in a way that the dollar looks like it could fail and create, here's a high, and create a lower high, and that could be good for stocks because right now we are oversold on the RSI. We're overbought, excuse me. We're overbought on the RSI. I mean, it's breaking above 80 right now. It's right at 80. It's like 79.49. That's a good thing if we want to see it go down. And then we've got, let me show you here, that positive momentum. It's starting to fall. So that positive momentum on the MACD, we had a high and a low, it popped back up, and that just correlates. But we're starting to turn again and head back towards neutral, and that's a good thing. We can look at the smaller time frames if you're day trading. Yeah, it's on the 4 hour, the DXY is getting weak. I don't want to say that it is on anything else because it's kind of, hold on, get this out of the way, we'll look at it. Let me just get rid of all this crap. We don't need it. So if we look right here at the 1 day, as of now, we've turned positive. We got 3 daily positive candles right here that's pumping it. If we can start to cross and turn back down, we will sure have something like that and that. Okay, now if we can stay in that right there and possibly get a little bit more overbought on the RSI, then we can start turning, heading back towards neutral and have some real divergence going on. Hold on, let me see. There we go. It's really what I want to see. If we can stay there. But that's not happened yet. We're not predicting the future. We're not psychic. The 1 hour, if you look at the 1 hour, which is not that really reliable, it keeps bouncing in and out of overbought. And it's kind of wanting to show, honestly, a little bit of, I think, of divergence, yeah. We're trying to show a little bit of hidden bullish divergence right here, which would insinuate the DXY is going up on the hourly. 4 hour shows negative. The daily hasn't turned yet. The weekly is what I kind of like, and I hope this is what happens. The weekly showing really, really weak positive momentum. Now, we had some divergence going on. It was negative. Turned just so slightly positive, but on that very, very small buying, we got this massive candle, which means it's a lot of illiquidity going on. It's sketchy. See, we got this last one, and it looks like it's doing the same thing, but people's not taking into account that we're at a level it could reverse. We could easily have a big green day tomorrow and then have bloody the rest of the week, or vice versa. We could have just horrible red days tomorrow because this keeps ripping, makes a new high, then rolls over. But the daily's not showing anything in particular, no confirmation. The weekly's showing that we're going bullish on it. The dollar's going up. The 4 hour looks good for downside. The 1 hour looks good for upside. It's a lot of conflicting factors, and I don't think we can rely solely on that. What we've got to look at is some of these futures. And let's try and look at some of these futures on like the Dow. The Dow 1 hour, I don't like it. It's just it's not reliable enough for me. Here's what we got going on here. The Dow, it looks like it's made a higher high, which is good. And it's trying to make support on top of those highs. But we started falling off this last week, and we're headed back down to oversold. Now, with that being said, if the sell-off continues but doesn't get insane with the downside pressure, we could easily become oversold, which the Dow loves to bounce off of oversold. Here, up, here, boom. So if we get to oversold, then we will be on the 4 hour now. you take that however you want with the 4-hour, we'll be showing hidden bullish divergence. And hidden bullish divergence is played out a lot if we get that. We may not. The weekly on the Dow or the daily on the Dow is showing that we're losing all this positive momentum, and that's not what we want. Not at all. Volume's been strong and steady throughout this last few weeks and months, but we've fallen back below that 200-day moving average, and there's nothing positive about that. We're losing positive momentum on the daily. All of that points to more downside for the markets. Just so happens at the same time frames that correlate with the Dow Jones and the DXY, it makes sense. The DXY says in those same time frames it's going up. The Dow says it's going down. We've broke below all these key indicators. I would have to expect. All I can do is trade based on what the data that I have presented to me, and the data is saying that we have more downside, at least in the short term. We can get out here to the weekly and look at the Dow. We haven't started losing the positive momentum yet. Little decline in volume, and I'm not super upset about that, but we're in the bullish control zone on the RSI pretty substantially. I like that. We're crossing bullish on the MACD. I think, it may be that we have a bloody week and the next week turns out great. So you've got to take the data for what it gives you and plan accordingly. And right now I'm planning on the first 3 days of the week to be a negative week for stocks and crypto and a positive week for the DXY. So if that's the way you're looking at it, then I think you're on the right path. Like I said, I just try and use traditional technical analysis to read these charts and understand the data that they're presenting to me and make a decision based off that. That just, to me, when you get a bunch of contradicting indicators, it's hard to find any kind of play. But when you get a lot of time frames across multiple assets, they're telling you the same thing. It gives you the confidence and the edge, because that's all you can do. There's no crystal ball. It gives you the edge you're looking for to make a bet or a play in the markets and have the greatest chance of success. You're just looking at odds. Right now, the odds are in your favor that the market's going down and the dollar's going up. So that's where I'm at with that. We're going to jump out here to the weekly time frame. The weekly has already started showing some weakness right around. It's getting up close to that 200-day moving average. And I can see we started out the week right now. Now, these are futures. We've started out the week with a little tiny baby green candle. So we're not selling off just yet. And we could run up and we could touch that, and we easily could hit that 13,899. But we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, this is futures. We'll look at what else we got over here. Yeah, the S&P 500. I drew this the other day. It just looks like it's ready to roll over a little bit. And it's going to be what it is. We don't have control over the markets. We're trying to play it. It got rejected on the daily. It got rejected by the 200-day moving average. We're now went from neutral to negative on the momentum down at the MACD. So the S&P 500 futures are telling us that downside is the most likely direction that we're going, and that's all you can do is look for that edge to try to play it. That being said, yeah, even on the NASDAQ daily, we've already got rejected from a trend line right here. Bounced off, it got rejected. We're kind of in a range. Probably going to turn out to be a rising wedge at some point. But right now, we're turning negative. We got overbought and just dumped right back down into it. So not a whole lot you can do about it. But now we've got to play the trend. Now that we know the direction of the trend that the data's given us, all we can do is place our bets in that direction. You want to play the direction of the trend. Being the counter trend only works with some like shit stocks, meme stocks, some of the garbage that A lot of biopharmaceuticals pump when the markets are bad because that's where the big money can play games and rip off everybody trying to make $1 billion in a week. The market's not an ATM, people. It's not. It takes years and years of headache and riding this crap to see where it's at. Now, if anybody has a stock request, anybody sitting in a position they want me to take a look at, let's talk about it. Crypto stocks, whatever you got, I will take suggestions now because we have determined right now traditional markets are pointing to the downside. Dollar's pointing up. Crypto will follow traditional markets. No need jumping into that heavy yet. If anybody's got a request, I'll take it. But if not, we will move on to crypto and get you an idea of what's going on here. Let's jump out to the weekly. Get rid of all this crap I was posting for someone else. Here you go. I mean, here's your weekly on Bitcoin. What have we got again? I mean, we've got it fell, little sideways chop, fake out, dump again, sideways chop, dump again. We're trying to, I mean, it looks like a bearish flag to me. But that bearish flag has also been bouncing around right here at this $20,000 peak for the 2017-18 bull run. That adds some weight to it. But the problem is we had a consolidation to the upside. We lost this negative momentum on the weekly, which was giving us 1, 2, 3. And for those that's been DMing me and asking, what you've got here, we'll draw it out for you. Here is your Class A bullish divergence on Bitcoin weekly chart. This is super strong, super strong. This is the strongest form of divergence that you can have. So you've got to wonder, why are we doing what we're doing with price? And I'm going to show you. 1, 2, 3. You got 3 islands where the negative momentum is getting less and less. So you're the sellers. Let's look at it like sellers. The sellers were big here. We had our run up. The sellers got less. Run up. The sellers got less. The sellers are getting weak and weak and weak and weak. But the problem with that is that's killing us is the sellers, we're running out of sellers. The people that's going to panic and got paper hands and is dropping Bitcoin, they're running out. Everybody who sold is just about sold and they've already got wrecked and they're kind of done. So we're running out of sellers. Problem is now everyone's so scared there's no buyers in the market. The major, let's see, Wall Street, major investors, if you're putting in $1 million plus, you're not buying on an exchange. More than likely, there's some rich, young, stupid people that are buying on Coinbase and shit, but you're buying over the counter. And that's really, really kind of fucked up because you've got exchanges and you've got people and brokers that are holding, 20,000 Bitcoin on a wallet that has been accounted for in the calculations. Then let's say Joe Blow from Merrill Lynch or whoever, they say, hey, I'm looking to get into it, but I don't want to move the markets. So you got a Joe Blow there and you make a deal. You're saying, all right, I want to buy your little ledger, your little tiny flash drive full of all this Bitcoin. I will buy it from you right now. The current price is $21,494. I'll be willing to give you $30,000 right now for you to hand that to me. And they work out a deal, 30, 40, 50, based on whatever they think the price is going to. And they hand that little USB drive to this man, take the cash and leave. So that over-the-counter transaction is not affecting the price. They're moving their money. They're making their plays behind your back. So that way you can't see what they're doing, but yet they're stacking it on the back end. That's what's going on with OTC markets right now. But still on the good side, we haven't turned negative yet. We haven't started losing. I'll zoom in closer for you. We haven't started losing it in positive momentum. We're flat right now. What we would like to see to make this all work on the weekly is we've got a bearish engulfing candle, which is completely nasty and would scream that downside is, and that's fine. But what we need to see is this to come down, and we need to kiss this line again. we're going to need to kiss this trend line, pull it out, at least get close to it. That way our positive momentum goes negative, but then slightly negative. A lot left. There's hardly no sellers left, remember. So we're going to come up with quadruple, 4 times. Right now it's triple bullish divergence. We will be forming quadruple bullish divergence, and that's when I think we hit a level that's understandable. And I think that's when we end up probably seeing the 14,000 level. I think we hit 14,000 at that point, and we bounce off, and it's going to be a rocket ship, not for no $70,000 price, but I think you hit 14, you go straight to 30. That's usually that's just how the markets in crypto work. If we'll finally fall down to 14, which is right there, that's our peak. That's our like June, July run up of that summer, our reaction rally after bottoming once. And it would just make sense to bottom once, we chop around, we fake like we're going to dump, we hit it, and then we bounce so hard again. And that's just following that same trend. So that's what I'm looking at. I think we'd come down to that, and it would be reasonable. And at that point, we would be just diverged to hell and back on everything. And then we will be working into that bull market. The next halving for Bitcoin is, I want to say it's either March or May of 2024, but it is 2024. It's either March or May, depending on the block schedule. And whenever that block is mined, once that supply is cut in half, you're going to see crazy stuff happen. Not like in 5 minutes, but once they cut that block reward down, things is going to get heated, because at that point it's getting so low that you, several people we know could buy enough Bitcoin to take up the daily supply. It's getting to that point that the more they cut the supply, the more the average person can start really affecting it. And then that's when Wall Street is they're already making their positions OTC. They're going to sell on the exchange and wipe it out. But we're going to get that bull run again. It's going to be insane this time. So that's Bitcoin. You can look at it on the 4 hour if any of y'all are trying to trade it. All right, what do we got requested here? We got BTU, energy stocks. I think they're just might be done for another week or two, but I'll look. What is SWIL? SWVL, OJ? All right, let's just real quick. We'll finish up this. What's up, Job? ISO 2022. You're gonna have to elaborate a little bit for me, Jock. What is ISO 2022? But the 4 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour showing Bitcoin going down. 4 hour, it's kind of neutral. So. Man, what's happening, dude? So that's it, man. You just got to be patient with Bitcoin. If you're trying to trade it hourly, daily, good luck to you. You're going to have to use a lot smaller time frames. And I don't do that with crypto a whole lot. If you tell me what time frame that you're looking at a crypto, I'll do it, break it down for you, and give you the analysis. Personally, the crypto side of it, a very, very small amount that I'll play with and trade the futures and the quick ups and downs. But I have realized the way to win with crypto is right now. Times like now is when you buy, you stack it, you ride the wave, and just wait for the next bull run. Easy, no stress. You know it's there. It's not going anywhere. You still own it, and the big money's coming. ETH now is a different story. Ethereum's fixing to do their merge, and if you look, I've had this drawn for a while. We just broke down of a rising wedge. Not good. But we're trying to hold. We're trying to hold strongly at this last little line of defense. But we'll probably come back down and touch those highs of 1,400 one more time. That would only make sense. That'd put us at a higher low as right there. On the second touch being a higher low, we should lose that momentum. And we'll have triple bullish divergence on it, and then we should have the merge complete, and it could be a big run. People keep saying this is when ETH could take that chance. Everybody talks about the flippening, that the market cap of Ethereum trumps that of flips that of Bitcoin and makes it go to the second place on CoinMarketCap. I don't know if that's true. If there was a time it was going to happen, it's now. If ETH can get a crazy freaking run in price because of their merge, making it deflationary, then it's very possible that when Bitcoin's doing nothing, that all these people, institutions, everybody piles in to ETH, and that'll push altcoins and the crazy little Doge and the Sheeb and all that. It'll push it to the moon. Let's see. They're essentially coming out with a government-regulated crypto, and paper money is going to be produced on circulator. The net is supposed to be a lot of, I believe they're calling it Biden bucks. Jock, that's very, very possible. This is something that the Federal Reserve has been talking about, I know, for about 3 to 4 years. Since 2018, they've been throwing around publicly that they were creating a digital dollar, that they were going to all digital, and it will be on a blockchain. I understand from what I've read that they're already testing it for almost a year now, but it's only being tested with international transfers through either government agencies or approved hedge fund management. So it's being used, and I think you've got to have big, big money to use it. But honestly, that doesn't bother me for the fact the government can create their own coin. That's great. That's cool. They need to use blockchain so we'll know our dollar's secure. But they're not. They're not going to, it's going to be centralized. All it's going to be is digital. It's going to be no different than the payment system the government supports now. Their problem is they're going to try and put it in a stable USD type thing, like a stable coin. But I don't think with the way they're able to print money and then pull money off the table and then print money and pull money, it's going to be almost impossible for it to truly be stable and hold your dollar's value. It may make transactions cheaper. They're just trying not to be left behind. I'm not worried about it. That's one thing. The truly decentralized stuff, like Bitcoin is supposedly truly decentralized, that's where I can't worry. That's why the government hates. Yeah, right. CBDCs, correct. So it's about time, and I'm going to be one of those people that people are going to hate, but I welcome regulation on crypto. We need regulation on crypto. Do you know why? I don't like the fact that our government's regulating it, but we need some kind of governing body to set the standards. Now, we just had Celsius and 3 Arrows. We've had all of these 2 or 3 coins that have bankrupted, disappeared. Luna crushed everybody, took billions of dollars of people's money because they were a regular centralized company with no oversight. There is no crypto rules, laws, or regulations on the books now for us to follow. So the SEC cannot go after the people like Celsius, Luna, that ripped everyone off. It makes it harder. They've got to fight years and years and years in court like they're doing with XRP, which I don't care what anybody says. Everybody's like, oh, XRP is going to be fine. It might. I hate them. I think they're the scammiest piece of shit on earth. They were the original rug pull to me because I've found out what happened with them. They're garbage. But we need regulation to at least try to keep these businesses from ripping folks off. So I welcome it. I wish they would get their shit straight. They don't need to send it over to the Federal Reserve. They're horrible at handling money. We need our own governing body, a digital assets reserve to manage it. We need people that know about the space and blockchain to actually install the rules. Some of the stuff they were coming up with has got, a trader's becoming a broker and we're going to charge. That's not going to fly because then the black market on it will just grow. And I'm okay with that too. They can kiss my ass. I promise you, the IRS can kiss my ass. I'd have been down that road with them. Pegging against gold reserves like Russia, and then had never come out with the Luna 2.0. I know how slick are those. The guy that ripped everyone off comes out with a same named coins. Oh, it's a 2.0. It's better. We fixed whatever the problem was. No, you didn't. The problem was you took the folks' money. That's plain and simple. Don't think it should be pegged to gold. Definitely don't think so on that. If Russia did it, it's because Russia and China has all the gold. And that's who I think has it all, because we don't. They can believe if they don't believe. We do not have even a quarter of the gold to back up any of our currency. So if we peg anything to gold, all we're doing is playing into Russia and China's hands. We just need to have a decentralized crypto that is pegged to the security of it. That's the lure behind Bitcoin. Is it's pegged to nothing other than speculation, but you can do a stable coin that's not mined and all this crap. You can have a stable coin that's pegged to security, a trustless system. It can be done. I'm working on it. I'm working on it right now. I've got my coin out there. We have a guy in the chat right now that's a beta tester with my own coin, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm sure that as soon as I launch it, I know as soon as I launch it on exchange, they're going to come for me, and that's okay. They can come for me. I mean, you can come get whatever the hell they want. That's all right. I ain't scared. I got shit going on anyway. I'll fight with them. All right. Well, let's look back at we'll start with OJ's because I know Reaper knows what he's doing. He just asking to be asking, and I appreciate it. Trying to get the crowd going. Let's look at this. What you got for me, OJ? SWVL, sir. I'm gonna call it swivel because it sounds cool. What's the name? It's just SWVL Holdings. Don't even know what that is, but it don't sound healthy. We're gonna start out on this weekly. Not a whole lot of information. You do have the negative momentum starting to. Oh man, I don't want to give you too much hope. All right, OJ. If you're still here, you're listening. I have no. The RSI is just almost flat. It's down here and oversold. Don't even have hardly a much of a MACD to go by, but it just hadn't been around that long. When did it first come out? The 15th of 2021. Sideways, dumped. What you got going on now is showing that it's Class A. Strong bullish divergence is trying to form. On the last time we turned from neutral to positive, we had two candles. Your price went from $4.33 to a high of $7.41. So I mean, if you're in it down at $1.66, it's a gamble just because it doesn't have enough data to make me feel comfortable that it's a strong company. It is performed. Let's see, earnings wise, we had a miss and a hit. Dead on. November 30th is the next earning. I don't know. If you've got a few, cool. I can understand where you're coming from on that. Rocket, dude. Hang on to it. You're showing that bullish divergence, and that's all you can ask for. But that's the weekly. That's long term. Let's try to break it down to a smaller time frame and see if there's anything exciting. The daily, kind of flat. We're just skirting along here at this $1.60-ish price. Nothing special at the moment. You're losing a little bit of momentum. We'll go to the 4-hour. Definitely losing positive momentum. Still just everything's kind of flat. This stock doesn't move a lot. The 1 hour, same thing, flat. There's nothing there for me to give you any real positive or negative one way or another. So, sorry, OJ. If you got a few, hang on to them, though. I mean, it's on the long term. It's showing that, we could be 6 months out. This thing could pop off and looking strong. It's looking stronger than I think anyone's really expected. We're above that initial dump. It's stair-stepping. What do we have here for our... Let me get a little closer in. Long term. Look at this divergence. We're kind of on a long-term investment time frame strategy type esque. We really could. It's just convergence. It's not super exciting yet. But I do like this back-to-back bullish engulfing candles bouncing once, twice off of the 200-day moving average. I like that. Probably on smaller time frames, probably look a little more lucrative, and they do. We had, and here's what I was trying to teach some of y'all earlier and talk about it. All right, look at this negative momentum from way back here. Look at that negative momentum it got smaller and smaller. The sellers became exhausted. And that's when we turned, and we had with two bounces on a larger time scale off the 200-day moving average. That negative momentum is almost gone, and we started building positive. We haven't hit oversold or overbought just yet. I think it's all right. Here's what may end up being the case, and this is where it may hold true to hold it a little bit longer. We'll check it out like that. It already has broken. If we draw a little trend line, it's broken it and now confirmed it as support. I'm okay with it. It is energy. I mean, you can't. You see the gas prices going up? Ain't y'all bought a tank of gas lately? If it's got oil or gas on it, I'm suspecting you probably can't go wrong with it until this market turns. It's not going to get better soon. But, yeah, so BTU doesn't look bad on the daily. The 4 hour is kind of flat. Nothing for real's happened yet to give you a good direction. You're a little overbought on the RSI. So you easily could come back down, and this is what I would expect. And, okay, well, let me dig a little deeper here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're quadruple divergence at some point. What I think I want to see, we've already broke through, back tested as support, ripped. I'd like to see us come back down, test this line at about 24.92 again, show a second level support, and that would be confirmation to me that on a weekly to monthly, coming week and month or time frame, that we would have bullishness going up. I'd like to see a second test of that line as support, which means, and for you that don't know, I'm going to draw it out. Reaper knows, is we've had that 1, 2. I'd like to see this happen. A bounce from right there, up, there support, rip. That right there on this touch of that yellow line one more time would give me the confidence to go long on this asset. And when we do, well, that worked out perfectly. When we do, I would expect to see a high of $33. That's where I think you can look to see that go in that scenario. Should that play out, that's the way it would play out in a bullish fashion. In a bearish fashion, you're going to get a little pop. You'll probably get a little resistance right through here. And then, bam, just to make a higher low and then keep climbing. And then you'll work on building something again. OJ, you got Google. All right. You hollered for Google. I shall find the Google. Man, I've just added so much crazy shit to my watch list. I've got to just dig and dig. I'm going to quit digging. I'm going to start typing. Because I can put it right to the front of my list. Let's see what the Googs. Let's go out here to the weekly real quick. Long term, who would have thought? Google's amazing. Google's been amazing since the day they come out 1,017 years ago. Let's look at it right there. Look at it. If you could take these little drops with a grain of salt, I mean, if you got the balls to hold it, look where Google came from, y'all. Do you realize Google's like a couple bucks? But that's log scale. It will lead you astray at times. OJ on the Google here, man. On the weekly, we're showing positive. We're building positive momentum. We are coming off of this low that just almost kissed oversold, because we have a low. Let me draw it out for you. just this little bit right there so you can see better. It's a lot better than I know. Mine's bigger than y'all are seeing on there. So you have a low, a high, a slightly higher low, and it's going again. So I would suspect in the coming weeks, we keep grinding and trying to make these higher lows and higher highs, and we'll probably catch up with this moving average up there at the 130-esque coming. And at that's when we'll really see what it's made of. Is the moving average going to slap it down? Like we had so many rejections here, pop above it right back, or is it going to break above it and we start making it support like it's been? So Google long term looks great. We'll look at it on the daily. I like what it's trying to do. I don't like the bearish engulfing candle. I don't like the loss of negative momentum, but we're almost at neutral. The RSI. I do like the fact that it's trying to test these because we did have that low, that higher low. It could keep chopping, and we may get trapped in this range. I mean, if you're in a range with this Google, you're talking about somewhere there. Bam. Bam. You could just come back down, test, and chop in this range because the overall market is going to drive this stuff. 4 hour. You've lost positive, going to negative. Go to the 1 hour. 1 hour, like I said, you got to take it with a grain of salt unless you're trying to day trade it. Probably you'd think it would do something like we're losing the negative momentum. It might turn positive for a day. We get a little rally Monday or Tuesday, and it want to run up and tap this resistance line again and then start coming back down. So that's pretty much where you're at with the Google. Long term, it's beautiful. It's amazing. You can't beat it. But short term, we're waiting to see what these markets are going to do. We could start having a bloody red week Monday, and the Fed or somebody come out, say something taken for positive, and then every crazy son of a bitch runs for the hills and starts buying everything. Anything else? Anybody got something else? Just let me know, and we'll run through it. Because we are about 30, almost 40 minutes in. I'm gonna give y'all 50 minutes. If we don't start bringing in some new viewers, I'll give you 45, 50 minutes of my time and help you guys out. That I appreciate every one of you that showed up and are working on it, and trying to work on yourselves and learn and invest in yourself and move forward and get better at trading, better at reading charts. And that's all it's about. Watch every bit of information you can on how to understand charts, read charts. Now, stay away from reading, watching opinions. That's where you're going to get people. News is a lie. News is garbage. If they're screaming to buy or sell something on the news, if you'll go the opposite way, 9 out of 10 times, it's a proven fact. It was already done tons of studies. You're gonna beat the news if you do opposite of what they say. Average person don't care, don't believe it, don't want to know, but that's fine. But invest in yourself. You've already signed up. Most of y'all has already signed up to the Discord. That's your first step. You're already investing in your education for the markets and trading and understanding these charts and how money and finance works. Good for you. But I'm not the guru. I'm a dude that busted his ass